Hello, everyone, and welcome to Book It, Vince, the Wrestling Dream Match podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett. And with me, as always, is the Second City Saint, Anthony Hall.
Yes, I fucking know this one, I think. Maybe. I have to. Didn't this happen last night?
Yes.
Didn't they say CM Punk was this person? The Second City Saint?
This is, yeah.
Yes.
But
yes.
What I actually didn't know is that that's technically not actually a nickname of his, but they call him that because in ROH, he was a part of a tag team called the Second City Saints.
Oh.
But so it was a callback to that. And it was when he was in a tag team with Colt Cabana, and they were managed / wrestled with Ace Steel. And Ace Steel was like a big trainer in Chicago. So. Yeah,
Colt Cabana is also from Chicago, though. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a thing. So they're it's a very Chicago name. The Second City, of course, referencing that the entire city burnt down and they pretty much had to build another Chicago on top of it.
Yeah.
Hence the Second City.
But yes.
Yeah. Wow. What a time. And of course, big weekend for wrestling. I'm mentioning Mr. Punk and his ROH background.
Yeah, no, so yeah, last night was Revolution. We're recording this the day before that it goes up on YouTube and on podcast apps. Just because we were busy, and then of course Revolution. But man, Revolution was so good. The only, I'll say, criticism I will personally give is a bit too long.
Yeah.
I like the 3 hour long time. A bit longer than that, it starts to feel a little bit too much like WrestleMania. And then I feel like the match order could have been a bit more planned out for like highs and lows, because there were some matches that happened after really high intensity matches that should have gotten a bit more notice, but the crowd was really good. The crowd was really into the entire show, which is awesome. So contrary to what the internet was saying about the crowd during the show, I did read some just random posts from people who were actually at the show, who were there in the flesh. And they said that it was pretty hot, like the entire night, and that a lot of the crowd noise didn't come through in the broadcast as it was sort of felt in the arena at the time live. So like we don't really truly know how over a lot of the people are that didn't get like that crazy pop. And also some moments I think were lost as well. But we do know three things though. One, William Regal.
Yeah,
that was my biggest moment. Like that, I lost my mind. That was so cool.
Yeah, Marty was running around the living room.
I'm so excited to see what him, Moxley, Danielson, what that whole thing's gonna be. That's gonna be epic. Two, that Sting, who's a 62-year-old man, jumped off of a guardrail through 3 tables onto Andrade.
Wow. So, God bless you, Mr. Stink.
And then he was at the press conference and he said he was all good, which is insane. And then the third thing is that everybody loves Adam.
Everybody loves Adam.
You know,
everybody knows that Adam wins at the end of the night.
Yeah. Adam wins. Let's go, Adam. Adam sucks though. We want Adam.
Fight for Adam.
For Adam. Yeah, I'm happy to see that Adam won last night. I'm sad that Adam lost though.
Yeah. Marty, what was your match of the night? Because I know obviously there was a buttload of matches and a lot of good moments, a lot of crazy wrestling things. But for you specifically, if you had to pick, if you had to give your Marty stars, what Marty stars are you dishing out?
Oh gosh. Everything was really good. I guess the match that I thought really delivered was the dog collar match.
Oh,
that was
interesting,
insane to watch, but it was so good. I personally also really liked it because it tied in the whole Wardlow thing.
Yeah.
So like he didn't turn on MJF. He just misplaced the ring, and then, like a good bodyguard would do, his job is to give MJF the ring. So when he finally found it, he put it there for MJF to pick up. CM Punk picked it up, but so I'm just excited to see what happens on Wednesday. What was your match of the night?
It's such a funny portrayal of someone just fully denying that their employee has turned on them. You're just like, oh yeah, he was just doing his job.
I mean, that's technically what he was doing.
My match of the night, because I'm a mark for spots and spots that are insane, would be probably the ladder match. I know people are probably going to be like, oh, why? It doesn't really matter, but it was insane. There was some stuff that made us both audibly be like, whoa,
just fun like ladder moments, like what was it, not to go on this too long, but like what was it where like they were it was Hobbs and maybe it was Keith Lee, I forget, holding up the ladder, and then Orange Cassidy is like on top of it, and then he like stands up and tries to grab it.
Yeah,
while
he like
have it.
Flipped up over the the ladder and tried to reach. Yeah, okay.
There's just some fun stuff for it was obvious that it was like, we have these three big dudes who can hold ladders while these three smaller dudes can like run on them, climb them. There was fun dynamics and everything. And man, Orange Cassidy and Ricky Starks took a beating.
Yes. MVPs of that match, hands down, are Orange Cassidy and Ricky Starks. Ricky, hope you're okay from that final spot. Tony Khan said in the media scrum that he was fine, but like, woof. And Orange Cassidy got absolutely yeeted by Keith Lee and did not come back. So we haven't heard anything about Orange Cassidy so far, he's good, but I hope he is also okay. Damn, that was such a fun match.
Warlow's getting a title shot, which is awesome. It looks like we're going to get Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which is cool. Honorable mention, the triple threat title or tag team match. That was wild. There were so really many cool spots in that match of like crazy, like someone going into someone, like a move into a move. That was really, really cool. So yeah, congrats to Jurassic Express.
Yeah, there's a lot of criticism, of course, from people early on in the days of AEW about tag rules and them not being followed, and it being kind of hard to keep track of who was the legal man in the ring. And that match absolutely showcased how manic these matches can get when it comes to the legal man. And that did play into the ring psychology, though, because you're like, oh, okay, when is Jurassic Express going to be able to tag out of this match? And then when is Red Dragon and the Bucks going to have to finally confront each other instead of just piling on and beating the shit out of Jungle Boy so Luchasaurus could come in and hot tag? Like, it
was still so fun though to watch. So.
Yeah, great match.
But yeah,
okay. Yes.
That's our 10-minute review of that's our 10-minute review of AEW Revolution 2022.
Okay.
But let us know. Let us know online what did you think of Revolution. If you enjoyed it, what your favorite match was and all that stuff. But getting to the meat, as it were, of this podcast episode. If you enjoy what we do here, every other week we book dream matches, and this one today is going to be interesting because we literally spent, I think, 30 minutes before starting to record trying to decide how are we going to do this. Is it going to be a serious booking? Is it going to be a silly booking? But we'll see what we come up with. And we booked dream matches, whether it's people from the past, people from the future, from the future, from the present.
Yeah, from the future. Yeah, from the future.
Well, hey, we could end up doing a booking with -1, who is, hey, yeah, congrats to -1, youngest wrestling action figure. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, what a beautiful moment. Shout out to AEW for all that they do for the Huber family. And,
Jazzwares and ringside collectibles. That's awesome. But yeah, if you enjoy what we do here, please consider following the podcast on whatever platform you get your podcasts on: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all that good stuff. Or come watch the video version so you can see us in our wrestling t-shirts and our tired faces from staying up till midnight watching pay-per-views. So I think the only best way to introduce this episode is just to exactly say what I'm going to title the episode, because why not? Veer finally comes.
And he comes hard. he comes hard, super hard, because the way we're going to debut this man is the way that they probably should have debuted Cody if he had signed with the WWE, by making him appear at the heavily guarded and information locked MSG house show that happened this past weekend.
Well, so to just like kind of give a little bit of, I don't know, backstory, I guess. So if you don't watch Monday Night Raw,
it's okay if you don't.
If you don't, that's perfectly okay.
Don't think of you any less.
I'm sure there's someone out there who's taking a tally of how many weeks it's been. But for the past, I would say, honestly, 3. I mean, this has been happening since last year. So, yeah,
it might be longer.
It probably is longer.
At least 3 weeks.
It's been, I mean, ever since, God. They have been playing these promo packages every single week, saying that Veer, how do you say his last name again?
Mahaan.
Veer Mahaan, who was a part of, oh gosh, what was the tag team in NXT? They were managed by Malcolm Bivens. But yeah, he is on the Raw roster technically, and every single week they play a promo package saying that he is coming to Raw, and it is basically just turned into a meme now. When is he going to show up? We don't know. Is everyone going to be excited when he shows up? We don't know. And yeah, it's just turned into a joke that every week he's coming, but we don't know when. But when he does finally show up, it's going to be interesting. It might be a letdown.
I think it is almost guaranteed to be a letdown, but in the world that we have built here at Book It Vince, we are going to have a good time.
I think,
let's
let him
come.
Let the man come already.
Let him come.
The two things that are probably going to happen for real that we have talked about is probably what it's going to be is if they hold the Andre the Giant Battle Royale at Mania again. It would make sense. He's a big dude. And we might use that in our booking. Or he just never comes.
Like Emelina. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Now that was overdrawn, overpromised. We really thought Emma was going to get a good character, a fair shake at it, where she wasn't just, like being the sidekick to Santino and being like a little bit awkward, but kind of good at wrestling. And we really thought that they were going to give her a chance. And then she came out eventually and immediately turned back around and then disappeared forever. Is that going to happen to Veer Mahaan?
Oh, it could. Honestly, it could be that he just never shows up. Like it could just be every single week he's coming, and they just let it go, and like, it did then get into a question of like as a wrestler or as an entertainer, like, is that what you want to be remembered for? Are you happy with the fact that they keep using you like this as a joke? Because he tweets really inspirational stuff. Like he's like, I think his Twitter presence is really trying to be like John Cena, where he just is like, yeah, you go after whatever you want. You got to keep having keep fighting, keep like that's his Twitter, and it's actually really sweet. But
he's a very inspirational guy, Marty. I was talking to you about this earlier. Why I actually tried to care so much about Veer Mahaan is because he is a person who was plucked out of nowhere, essentially, to be a part of this like reality television program to find like the next great pitcher, or a cricket bowler, I believe. And then from there, he was discovered and developed to try to be like a major league baseball talent. And then from there, they grabbed him to the WWE. And then this guy's just making the most out of his life here.
Yeah.
He's modeling. He's been on TV. This is very inspirational. And we are going to make a joke of this man, but WWE has been doing it for like 36 weeks and counting. So
I think we can
keep on ripping.
I think we can have a fun booking that still can utilize him in a great way, that just doesn't take it too seriously, because I think if you take it way too seriously, it just doesn't, with what they've been doing so far, I don't think you can continue on being serious. But I say we just have like fun with it and do like big man monster shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So like you said at the beginning, imagine this. Imagine, because WWE, I think, this is me doing speculation, I think that WWE has learned who in the dirt sheets to talk to spread insane rumors and get everybody pumped, because they were trying to make that Madison Square Garden show that happened this past weekend really, you got to pay attention. You got to be on the pulse with this one, because something big's going to happen. And they kept saying like, oh, Brock has to defend his championship this weekend at Madison Square Garden. Obviously, it's the Garden. It's the most well-known sports arena in North America. And so, yeah, we got to do something big. And everybody thought, oh, it might be Cody. Oh, maybe Lashley's back. Oh, maybe. What's it going to be? Who's going to face him for the title? Maybe he's going to lose the title, and then at Mania, and then blah, blah, blah. It was Austin Theory. The guy who's facing Pat McAfee at Mania.
The guy who immediately ran away from Brock Lesnar in the Elimination Chamber match and just got tossed around.
And then afterwards, there was a whole thing that, yes, it did go viral, of Roman Reigns beating the piss out of Brock and like showing his dominance. And that was cool. And I'm sure for the audience, that was live. That was fun. I'm sure the rest of the show was
holding
very
the
fun.
Two belts, being like, they are going to be unified after I inevitably win at WrestleMania, because is Brock going to beat Roman? Probably not. Let's be honest, everybody.
But what if instead of Austin Theory showing up, what if all of a sudden on the screen they start playing the intro, and finally Veer comes and stands face to face, everybody losing their minds, comes face to face with Brock Lesnar, and you think, oh, Brock's just going to squash him. But instead, they go 20-minute classic.
20-minute classic. The most that Brock can work, really.
Finisher spam over and over again. Veer takes like five F5s.
Okay. Before we get too deep into this, I think the way that this should happen is one of the last vignettes they showed of Veer was like this weird, like it looked like it was a hallway and it was like lit up all red, right? And he was just like running. So I think the MSG house show, it should have been advertised still that it's Austin Theory versus Brock. But then as Austin Theory is, they maybe show like just like a quick camera angle of Austin Theory like getting ready for the match. And he's like kind of like heading to the ring. And then the lights like in the arena go red. Yeah. All the arena's lights go red. And then you see this figure running from the back of the hallway. He shoves Austin Theory like out of the frame. And then he runs straight into the ring and immediately starts attacking Brock. And everybody pops like crazy because they know Veer just came, baby.
Yes, he just came. And I think in our imaginary Book of Vince world, they go hard for like 15 minutes. And it's like you think like and Veer pushes Lesnar to his limit.
Yeah.
Like where you're like, oh, my God, is Veer going to win the WWE championship
at MSG? And that's why they've been so tight-lipped about it, because there's a title change happening tonight.
What? But
and being someone who watched way too much Veer content on YouTube before this, he's got surprisingly athletic moves in his moveset. He's got a bunch of shoulder tackles. He's got like this like jumping sort of like tackle thing.
I'm so sorry that you made yourself watch all that content.
He's got flying elbow drops, and his finisher something that is so ugly. It's like a wind up lariat, because he used to be a pitcher.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty cool.
This is the kind of shit that WWE thinks of, but so it just like doesn't look very impactful. But regardless,
what I was gonna just say is you probably watched more content than they've even shown in any of the promo packages, because I'm pretty sure they just keep showing the same like 2 matches that he actually had on like main event.
Yeah.
And you probably watched more than there even is.
Totally. But John Morrison's last match in the WWE is on main event, and he jobs to Veer.
That's funny and sad.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
But so we say that he comes out. You think he's going to win. But to do the WWE thing and WWE thing and protect everybody, because it doesn't make your champion look any less strong if you just have them get bumped inside of a cell and they get wheeled out because they got a concussion. That protects them so much, instead of just like having them lose. Not bitter or anything. Instead, Roman comes out.
Yes, the big dog.
Roman does what he wants, because this is his show. This is his ring.
Yes.
That's his cameraman. This is his garden. He comes out. He interrupts. He attacks Veer. He attacks Brock Lesnar. The main event's over. They're ringing the bell way too long. Just ringing that bell again and again and again. Trying to because they think, hey, if we ring this bell, it'll make them stop. But it never does. It never does.
No, it doesn't. Of course.
So security comes out, tries to stop Roman. Roman just ruins them. The Usos come out. They pull out stairs. He powerbomb the Usos super kick Veer. He powerbombs Lesnar like he actually did on Saturday. Stands the 2 belts up. But hey, Veer didn't lose.
That's right. He's been protected. He is an asset. He's someone who pushed the Raw champion to his limits before the big dog came to ruin everybody's fun.
The big dog came. He came all over. Anyways,
Veer came, but never finished. So
Roman had to finish him for him.
So we have to find this finish here. We have to continue to establish the brand of this man running in and being dominant and being a threat to Raw. How do we do that, Marty?
Well, here's what I honestly would think. I would think that Veer showed up at the Garden. It's a buzz all over social media. It becomes viral.
Oh yeah. Yes.
He then doesn't show up on Raw till months later.
So they keep showing that moment on Raw. They're like, and he finally came.
They keep saying that he's coming to Raw.
Yeah,
he came, but he's coming to Raw.
Yes.
And then I honestly think that, like, jokes aside, I think you have that moment. It's a big thing. And then the next time that we see him is going to be at WrestleMania, where it's like people are coming. All the guys are coming out for the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. And there is almost big. What are they calling him? The Colossal or he's the, what was it? Oh, they were calling him AJ's private Colossus. Whatever.
Yeah.
But makes sense. Yeah. So Almost comes out. And it's like, oh, well, Almost is going to win this thing. Obviously, he's huge and all the other guys are tiny and puny. But then before the match starts, everything turns red.
Everything turns red. And Veer Mahaan runs all the way down that entire huge setup for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Basically gassing himself by the time he gets to the ring. But when he hits the ring,
he jumps over the ropes
onto every dude, and then the bell officially rings, and that's when the battle royal starts. Also, this is a dumb question, but I actually don't remember. Everybody starts in the ring for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, right? Like everybody's already in there before. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So there's no way that we can get like a fun thing. He'll just be the last person to like run in to join the match because lights go red. He's just sprinting and jumps in, and then the bell rings. And
it can literally be. I mean, hey, WrestleMania is long enough. You can have this be a 5-minute match where it literally is.
Yeah.
Where it literally is like, how many dudes is it? It's like 20 dudes or something like that. He comes in and then hit Veer and Almost are just beating, eliminating.
Yeah. Just toss people aside.
It's just they're the last two.
Yes. What's going to happen here?
But
I think to continue, maybe like to make this more fun, we should have like somebody who didn't properly get eliminated, who like comes back in and then does some shady shit to Almost while Veer is also there too, to continue whatever storyline exists in
I don't think
universe.
He has a storyline. So what I think would be way funnier is like, or it would be really cool actually, is like, so they eliminate everybody and then it gets into like this like feat of strength between the two of them, and like they like Greco Roman like lock hands and they're just like trying to force each other.
They do the test of might. Yeah.
But then
I see.
Then Veer picks Almost up and tosses him over the top rope onto all the other guys that got eliminated.
Damn.
And Veer's standing strong.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, he just came all over them.
Well, Almost
he just came and Almost was not prepared, didn't have the protection needed to fight against Veer coming.
So how would he transition from like the test of strength into a lift? Like, does he basically just pull Almost onto his shoulders and then just like launch him?
I think if you're actually trying to figure out how to physically do it, I think they would have a test of strength. I think there'd be a bit of wrestling. I think then Omos would like try to like push Veer over the ropes, and I think then Veer is like on on his heels, and then manages to push him back, and then it's kind of like centrifugal motion of like pushes him back and then gets him on his shoulders and then goes into a military press and then just turns around to the hard camera and just like, yeah, and then just tosses him.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you gotta have, it's like Cesaro lifting up the Big Show.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. That's a big time WrestleMania moment too. You have Veer just going, and then throwing almost over,
and just throwing him,
just chucking him the best that he can onto
100%.
all the dudes. And then Reggie slides in, and he hasn't been eliminated properly. Just gets immediately clotheslined over the ring.
No, I think if you want to do anything with Reggie, because Reggie would be the perfect one. I think it's got to be. Oh my God! I just thought of something that we didn't anticipate, and now it's going to be a thing.
Okay.
Monday Night Raw, the Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
There's some bullshit segment with Reggie and Dana Brooke and Tozawa and whoever else they don't care about. Sorry, no, they're all great except for Reggie.
No, he's a redeemable figure.
He is a fantastic wrestler. He does
athlete.
Cool flips and shit. If they took him seriously, he probably would be like a great mid card, like intercontinental contender. But he's a joke. So let's keep making him a joke by
burying him constantly.
Well, no, by having him go out there and he wins the 24/7 championship back from Dana Brooke. All of a sudden, all the lights go red.
No,
wait.
No.
Reggie doesn't know what to do. Reggie's just like, what's happening? And then just sprinting, full-fledged, Veer comes down. And they're like, oh my God, Veer, he came to Raw. The Andre the Giant Battle Royale winner. He almost beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Reggie doesn't know what to do. And he just friggin' wind up clothesline smokes him, and Reggie does 2 flips.
Oh,
lands.
Big sell.
Foot on the chest. Veer is now the 24/7 championship, and he doesn't lose it for a full year.
Okay.
They retire the 24/7 championship because no one can pin Veer.
Oh, so you're using Veer Mahaan to write out the 24/7 championship.
Yes.
Out of WWE existence. It's evil. There's people in catering that are fighting for this title. You're making this very hard for them to become championship holders by erasing this title.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to be, as good as WWE creative.
Okay. Well, we're doing a great
There's
job.
one option. There's one option.
That's pretty funny. I must agree. And I think establishing the motif of the lights turn red and all you hear is just like steps and of running and just like full sprint. Yeah. Full sprint every time. Every time he comes to the ring, no matter what.
Basically like Ultimate Warrior status of just like,
yeah. Yeah, full sprint all the time. Yeah.
So but the other, I know that before this we talked about him getting into a feud with Omos.
Yeah.
So what do you think that feud would have? So there's one option is him getting the 24/7 championship and holding on to it for 17 years, become the world's longest title holder, beating Bruno Sammartino's title reign of 8 years. And, you know, going down in history that way. There's one option. The second option is him and Omos having like a crazy big man feud.
Yeah, I think that is ultimately what is going to be a more fun thing, is almost seeking revenge for being embarrassed by Veer at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So I think maybe we can incorporate both of these ideas, because we have Reggie being like, haha, I won back the 24/7 championship. Nobody's going to stop me. Lights turn red. Veer runs in. But maybe before Veer can attack Reggie, Omos comes in and breaks up the attack, you know, like he's running full sprint, right? So you know how Keith Lee can basically comes in and shoulder tackles people out of the ring, or launches people. Let's make Omos do that. Omos is chilling around, which is, it's crazy. It's very unbelievable that you would be in the crowd and not see Omos beside you and be like, oh shit, something's about to go down because this giant dude is just beside me. But let's just say it's the Book of Vince universe. Anything is possible. So Reggie is gallivanting around with his title that he just won back from Dana Brooke, and lights turn red. Veer sprinting all the way from back.
What if we do the opposite of what I said, and instead, Veer comes out, right? Reggie's there. He just squashes Reggie. Just giant choke slam, clothesline, whatever. Yeah. And then on commentary, they're like, Is Veer going to become the 24/7 championship? As Byron Saxton says some dumb shit like that. I love you, Byron. And it looks like he's going to, but then he chooses not to, and he just tosses Reggie out of the ring. And then R-Truth comes out and pins him and gets the champion, and then they run away. And then then Veer's standing tall and is like, no, Veer's above that. He could have been the WWE champion, you know? Yeah. And then that's where Omos comes from out of the crowd.
Yeah. And decks him and then almost lifts Veer up. But then before he can toss him out of the ring, Veer slides out. So then you're like, oh, he didn't get that moment of revenge. He didn't get that sweet retribution trademark that he was looking for. So then now what?
I think then you have these two giant dudes who have need to basically brawl and need to they want at each other's throats so bad. They want to just murder each other.
Yeah.
And then what would be more entertaining than them just having a really crazy match would be them doing fun comedy bits over the next couple of weeks of them doing things like a decathlon.
This is getting crazy. Here's an idea.
They arm wrestle. They do strongman competition.
This is not technically overbooking yet, but we've kind of established this already. What if the only thing that Omos is working towards is to prove that he is stronger and bigger and better than Veer? So the thing that is going to make him happy, that will fulfill his desire for revenge, is if he can throw Veer out of the ring. that is the thing that we're working towards, is that Omos wants to throw Veer out of the ring. So at every chance he gets, he's going to interfere and try to throw Veer out of the ring.
He just keeps trying to pick him up, and Veer manages to slip away every single time.
Or something happens. So it's either he's like maybe too hurt to do it. Maybe Veer slips away. Maybe a 24/7 shenanigans interrupts the moment. Maybe whatever legitimate storyline almost is a part of interferes with this. But the super objective of this Almost character is to prove to everybody in the WWE universe that he is stronger than Veer. So all he wants is to throw him out of the ring.
Which then, okay, leads to Veer. Okay, so Veer has some matches on Raw. He squashes just everybody.
Yeah, he's gonna wrestle
at least everybody that we
Aziz. Yeah.
Everybody that we are okay with burying.
T-Bar. Sorry, T-Bar. Love ya.
Sorry. Asterisk. That WWE is okay with burying.
Yes. He gets a match with MVP. MVP calls him out.
Jesus Christ.
MVP is like, okay, looks like maybe MVP tries to recruit him to be a Bobby Lashley's bodyguard. He's like, sure. I know when Lashley comes back, he's going to need a big body. We're going to form a group. So Veer, if you accept my offer, please
we're gonna
run down to the ring.
We're going to form a new group. It's called Pain Incorporated.
Yeah, sure. Pain Incorporated. Veer, if you accept this offer, please have the lights turn red and sprint down to this ring. Of course, the lights turn red and he sprints down to the ring, but instead of accepting the offer, he just bodies MVP, and then they have a match. And then almost tries to come in and he tries to lift up Veer.
Yeah, this keeps happening. And then eventually, whatever the hell happens with the title unification or that all crazy crap, what happens is then Veer, comes back and says, like, I deserve a title shot. I almost beat Brock Lesnar at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And Roman interrupted it. I never lost. I was disqualified. And so at the next pay-per-view, or it's just SmackDown, I don't know. The 2000th episode of SmackDown or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's actually, but anyways, he gets his match. But before he can get down to the ring, almost attacks him.
Oh no!
Almost attacks him, and they have a huge brawl, like a crazy brawl, like into the audience. Almost throws Veer through like a stand or something like that.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh my god, and I mean, like, let's go all out, like a friggin' glass window, and you're like, holy shit, like, let's build this up.
Let's have them pick up like incredibly heavy things to throw into each other, just to continue this weird, dumb obsession that Almost has with picking up Veer and throwing him out of the ring. As fun as the idea of us doing really dumb comedy bits with them and tests of strength, this actually might be pretty entertaining if we use that MSG match or disqualification, and then Almost's fascination with proving that he's stronger than Veer to curtail this into something.
How I think this ends.
Big.
Okay. How I think this rivalry ends is it leads to like them brawl, this crazy brawl that ends a SmackDown, and you can't believe what they're throwing at each other with their incredible strength, but B, how they both end up like getting maybe Almost tackles Veer or Veer tackles Almost either way around, it doesn't really matter, off of like this structure, and they like fall. And it's like, oh my God, are they okay? Like, well, let's go back to like crazy drama stuff. Okay, WWE, like, come on. And then at the next pay-per-view, SummerSlam, it's a last man standing between Veer and Omos. And they do some wild big man stuff. And it ends with Omos picking Veer up and tossing him off of the stage. Some Shane McMahon type shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
And there's Omos standing tall.
Yeah. And then
we never see Veer again.
Veer's gone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He came and went.
Great. That's great. So I think to sum up the program here, essentially what we've got is Veer appeared at MSG. He almost beats Brock, but Roman interferes. And then we get to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, where Veer and Omos finally get to see each other. Because we have these two giant guys who are, the big dudes of Raw. Multiple eliminations. They get face to face and they do their test of strength. And Veer Mahaan immediately just puts Omos on his shoulders and embarrassingly just tosses him out of the ring.
Eats him.
Nothing, which is very embarrassing to Omos, who is probably the biggest guy on the WWE roster, hands down right now. We get to that Raw. We get the fun Dana Brooke, Reggie 24/7 moment.
Is he gonna win? Is he gonna win the 24/7 champ? In an alternate universe, he does, and he retires it.
Yeah, in the other splintering Book of Vince universes,
in the Andrew Garfield Spider Verse.
That's
what happens. But in this Tom Holland Spider Verse,
he runs down. He just absolutely beats the living shit out of Reggie. He hits him with a couple shoulder tackles. He's got a jumping elbow drop.
Yeah. You think he's going to pin him, but he says no, and he just tosses him aside because he gets better than the 24/7 championship.
Yeah, maybe instead of just tossing him aside, he does the thing that he did to Omos.
He lifts him.
Which extra triggers him. So he picks him up like this and just chucks him out of the ring.
It'd be kind of funny if like, R-Truth and Tozawa and all of them come down and he throws Reggie into them, and they all just end up in a pile, but it just happens that one of them is on top of Reggie, and the ref just goes 1, 2, 3, and then like picks up like R-Truth's like unconscious arm.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't know who the 24/7 champion is, but that happens after.
But then
almost comes into.
As that happens, you hear Omos's music and he runs down.
Yeah.
Brawl and fight, and Veer slips away
because he tries to put him on. He almost puts Veer on his shoulders, and it looks like he's gonna get that moment of retribution, and he slides out. Damn. Now we get a bunch of Veer matches on Raw where he crushes the likes of Apollo Crews, Cedric Alexander, R-Truth, maybe. He beats up T-Bar, and then MVP is like, hey, man, you would be the perfect addition to the Pain Industries team once the almighty Bobby Lashley comes back. So if you accept this offer, you will run down, the lights will turn red, and we will be business partners. Lights turn red. He runs down. He absolutely unloads a winding lariat. He's got that golden arm, winding lariat onto MVP, but almost shows up one more time. Tries to lift him up, slips away until the following week, where it's the SmackDown 5000th episode, as you said. And Veer Mahaan is like, I've run through everybody on the roster, and everybody seems to forget that I almost beat Brock Lesnar and I never lost to either one of these guys. Give me my match. Later that night, it's booked. Roman Reigns, Veer Mahaan.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Roman's in the ring.
Oh,
for some reason, for some reason they made Roman come out first for this. Just so
it could be that. Well, no, because you got to get the running.
Just because the lights have to turn red and he's going to be running down. But as he almost gets to the ring full speed, that bastard, big bastard, almost shows up.
It could be okay. Think of this. It could be Veer running down, and just as he's about to get to the ring, almost just like comes in out of nowhere and just like tackles,
cuts him off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they beat each other up. It's a big brawl. Roman is just like, I don't want none of this.
Yeah.
Roman and Paul just scurry away, and the Usos are trying to like keep any of the debris from flying.
Almost and Veer destroy the Usos.
Oh yeah. They
accidentally get in the way and they just get yeeted.
Yeah. So now let's just quickly talk about some heavy things that are around the ring that they can throw at each other.
Scaffolding. Maybe ladder. The specific place that they're in has like a loading area and there's like big loading cases or like tires.
Oh, that's a good one. Tires.
They do the Strowman stuff and they lift like a car.
Yeah.
Tip over a car.
I think the ending spot should be that like
the ending spot should be them
backstage brawl.
Yeah, well, the ending spot should be they both get taken out in some way.
Yeah. I think they like are on top of something, pushing each other, and then it like collapses, and you're like, "Holy shit! Are these guys okay?" Yeah, so they're like pushing like a beam of some sort backstage, like trying to out strength each other or whatever, and then the thing collapses, and then you're like, and then the SmackDown logo comes up, and you're like, oh my god, are they dead? And of course, this sets up our.
That's something from the mid 2000s that we're missing in today's WWE is a show ending and you questioning, are they dead?
But it has happened a couple of times, especially remember in the Braun Roman feud with like the ambulance and shit, and Roman like just like crashes a car into it, and it's like, what? Did he just commit murder? Like, and I think this should be the same, where they both like force this structure to collapse on them, and we get that SmackDown logo, and it's like, oh, did they just commit murder and on themselves? And we never see these big guys again. No, just kidding. We see them at SummerSlam in a last man standing match. And
some interaction before then, but sets up this.
Yeah.
And they just have like a crazy like tables through the stage.
Yeah.
In the back, like all this stuff. And then it ends with being on the stage where WWE, decided this year, because we're booking it, to actually put work into building a real stage this time.
Right.
Because they're like, well, people love that. We should go back to that. Yes, please. And Omos manages to pick up Veer. It's a crazy feast. Everybody's going crazy. And he tosses him off the stage.
Off the stage.
Yep. Into some sort of structure, and you think he's dead. And 10 count, Omos stands tall as the biggest man in WWE.
And even though this feud is absolutely just like us being idiots trying to make these huge dudes do dumb stuff, if in reality you had a last man standing match where Omos won and like had a moment like that actually does give him positive momentum into actually being a part of a real storyline where it's not just about lifting up a dude.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Because since Veer didn't get his match against Roman and almost effectively just deletes Veer from existence, now Omos can be like, look, I deserve this match. And that actually can become a legitimate storyline in the world of Book It Vince.
True.
But until then,
what happens to Veer? Veer goes back to NXT and then just murders Tony D'Angelo and becomes the NXT champion, because Tony D'Angelo is going to become NXT champion.
Correct.
For one day, where then Veer comes and destroys him and holds the belt. So technically,
Veer gets yet another repackaging. And he
well, it's SummerSlam weekend, so there's obviously a takeover. And at that takeover is where Tony D'Angelo wins the NXT championship.
Right. Yes.
But then on Tuesday that week, he shows up and Veer shows up and just destroys him and takes the belt. Shortest NXT championship reign ever.
Yeah, and NXT 2.0 would be a really appropriate place for the red lights full sprint kind of energy. I think people would appreciate that there.
There's so Veer will come and quickly be gone.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
There we go. That's how we do it. What a booking. This is what
the times were good.
We just exactly. You can't look at the destination. You got to focus on the journey. And it was just like Journey said, don't stop believing.
Just like Journey said,
wheel in the sky.
Carry on, my wayward son.
That's Kansas. Anyways,
damn.
That's gonna be our booking. Like this is what I wanted. Kansas. I just wanted a fun, crazy. I like that we also came with like multi-universe stuff. That's so good. Please let us know in the comments, or if you decide to review the podcast, please let us know how you would book Veer. Is Veer gonna come?
Ever.
Just let us know. Hey, if you want to, you can either tell us like your whole booking, or you can just say Veer will come. Or Veer comes hard, and we will acknowledge you, just like the tribal chief. But that'll do it for the booking. We're going to close out the episode this week, not with a question of the week, because we kind of already did that at the beginning, where we talked about what our favorite matches from Revolution was. So we'll use that instead. But we will give a match recommendation of the week, and it's technically my week to recommend. As always, though, if you want us to answer a question that you've been dying to know, whether it's a match that you want to see, a dream match, a dream booking, or just any random wrestling questions, please feel free to either tweet at us at BookAdvancePod on Twitter, or you can go to our website, unknownerafilms.com/bookevents. You can leave a question there. And you can also check out all of our match recommendations, including this one that I am going to recommend, which is I'm going to recommend Revolution 2022. I'm actually going to recommend a match that was on the pre-show. On the buy-in. Which was actually the triple threat, or the trios match, the one between the House of Black versus Penta, Pac, and Eric Redbeard. Because one, I was surprised they gave that away for free. That was a good match. It was very chaotic, but it was very fun. There was some crazy spots in it. What was it? There was the moment of it was the package pile driver on the apron.
On the hardest part of the ring, brought to you by DraftKings.com.
Friggin' Penta and Buddy Matthews going at it. Pac and Buddy Matthews, just crazy. Some big man shit with Brody King and Redbeard. Like it was fun. Did not expect that level of fun match on the buy-in. So definitely go check that out because it's on YouTube and it's free. So go watch it.
Oh yeah,
it's great. I'm excited to see. Also, the House of Black entrance was sick.
So sick.
And I'm just excited to see for them to have more of Buddy Matthews because, man, that he can go.
And he looks huge compared to some of the people he was wrestling.
Looks good. And so I can't wait to see him get to do some one-on-ones with people like Penta, Phoenix eventually when he comes back, Pac, even like a Dante. That'd be really, really sick. Or a Lee Moriarty. That'd be really cool. But yeah, go watch that. We'll link to that on our website as well. That will do it for this week's episode. Veer came. And hopefully we made him come hard. And that's how we're going to end it. Thank you very much for checking out the podcast. If you enjoyed this and you want to check out anything else that we do here at Unknown Area, you can follow us online at UE_films. You can also follow myself personally on Twitter and Instagram at Barton_Minute. You can follow Mr. Anthony Hall
at Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow the podcast again, like we said, at Book Advance Pod on Twitter. Thank you very much for listening and or watching. You go watch some wrestling and keep being excellent. We'll see you next time.
Lights turn red. Fear runs in.
Fear comes.